Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Political Ray. We've got a few stories for you this morning. Maine is back in the news. We'll get into that. The Vegas Tesla dealership that got set ablaze. They have arrested a man, and he is facing up to 20 years in prison. As per Pam Bondi, said that she will be using the full force of the government arm of law enforcement in order to come down on this guy, and I'm all for it. We'll get into that too. Canada and the UK, they're just silly places. We'll get into that too. Canada has come out with a statement that we'll get into, and the UK is apparently trying to ban samurai swords. Who knows? It's weird. Anyway, we'll get into it. But first, we'll go ahead and talk about Maine because this still making headlines, and you know it's their governor. She's kind of a turd. But hey, she does what she wants to do anyway, because there's no accountability. She knows she can get away with it anyway. So we've got this from the Post Millennial, and Maine officials refuse to comply with Trump order barring biological males from women's sports. Now, everybody knows my opinion on this. I've said it 100 times. Probably say it 100 more. Men should not be competing against women in their sports. Women's sports was created to be a safe haven for women within sports because it's dangerous, amongst other things, for women to be competing against men. That being said, and it takes away the trophies, medals. There's over 900 medals now that have been taken from women because men who are average amongst other men decide to become trans, and then they just completely dominate the women's field. That being said, um, this woman is just insane. It's my opinion. Uh, let's see. We'll get into this. Maine officials and school districts are refusing to sign a letter of compliance stating that they will follow Title IX and prohibit biological males from competing in women's sports. The deadline to comply is today, meaning today, Thursday. Now, the University of Maine has already complied with this. Columbia University following suit. They've already complied with this because they don't want to lose that federal funding. What was like 3 or 400 million? I don't exactly remember the dollar amount. It's a lot of money. I mean, a few $1,000,000, a few $100 million. That's a lot of money, especially to a university. They don't want to lose out on that. But she obviously does not care. Now, this is mainly affecting high school, you know, K through 12, sports, mostly within high school because that's where most of school sports are played within high school, and it's going to affect them. As of today, if they do not sign this saying that they will comply, they will lose that federal funding, and they're going to be up crap creek without a paddle as far as the money goes. Anyway, the Maine Principals Association, which oversees school sporting competitions in the state, refused to sign the agreement sent by the federal government, citing the state's Human Rights Act per WMTW. A spokesperson for the MPA told the outlet the Maine Principals Association is bound by law, including the Maine Human Rights Act, which our participation policy reflects. We are unable to sign any resolution agreement with that would mandate we create a new policy that would violate the law and MHRA as such. We have not signed and will not sign the resolution agreement sent by the Federal Department of Health and Human Services with respect to the Federal Department of Education. Office of Civil Rights resolution agreement. We are not a direct recipient of that agreement, so we are not required to respond. They're going to lose their money. They're going to fight this in court. They're going to lose their money. Anyway, this is my opinion, but I am not for women competing against biological men. I'm not. It goes against the very foundation of which women's sports was founded, to be able to compete against other women and have, think about this. You've got, say, a basketball team. You got 11 spots on that team. Say 10 or 11. That's it. And you've got, 12 women competing for 11 spots. That last girl, the last couple of girls, they're not going to make the team. One, because if there's one male that's competing against, they're going to lose that spot to the guy. So there's one reason right there. It negates the fact that women who should be on the team didn't make the team because the man is in this. It's just scientists. It's just science. Men are bigger, stronger, faster, what have you. It's proven scientifically. You can't argue against it. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Okay, you can argue on. There's a lot of strong women out there. I mean, a good example is the women's professional soccer team that was beat by a 12U soccer team made of males. It's just they don't compete, and they lost that game. I think it was 3-2 or 5-2 rather. I believe that was the score. It's just the way things are. You can be mad about it all you want, but that's just the way it is. And I don't think that I don't think it's fair that women lose out on an opportunity, or excuse me. A better example, I guess. Sometimes I have problems articulating these things, but look, a better example would be, you got one scholarship to a college, to a university for a women's spot, and you've got a biological male and a biological female, both on a woman's team, but there's only one scholarship available for this particular school. Who do you think the guy that's on that team competing against other women, who's just completely dominating everybody else, who do you think is going to get that scholarship? It's not going to be the biological female. It will be the male. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And that takes away that scholarship that high school woman athlete has worked hard for 4 years in her high school athletic career. She's worked hard for that scholarship. Now she gets to lose that scholarship because this high school decided that they were going to let this male compete on the women's team. It's not fair for the women, and it's dangerous for the women. This shouldn't be a thing. We shouldn't be talking about this anymore. This should be done. But because people like the governor of Maine decides that she's not going to comply with this, we're still talking about it. This shouldn't be a thing anymore. Why is it that there's, answer me this. How come there's not former NBA players who maybe they don't get a starting spot, decide to transition into a woman, and then they go to the WNBA and they completely dominate? How come there's none of those stories? I'll wait. Anyway, I'm going to move on because it's something that we keep talking about. We shouldn't be talking about it anymore. It's something that should have gone away at this point. We're 2 months into this administration now. And it's just an old talking point. But anyway, I digress. We'll go ahead and we'll move on to the Las Vegas Tesla dealership that got set ablaze. These people who have lost their minds, all because Elon Musk has been siding with President Trump, and he's within the administration doing his thing, finding corruption. And again, I'll say this again. Why are you not okay with Elon Musk going through with a fine-tooth comb, finding corruption, wasteful spending, and everything else? How are you not okay with that? Democrats ran on this years ago. Now all of a sudden it's a bad thing. Why? Because President Trump's doing it. That's it. That's all there is. It's bad because President Trump is doing it. Anyway, this is the Las Vegas Tesla dealership. Several vehicles set on fire at Tesla in Las Vegas, police say. This is the scene, just to refresh everybody's memory. Now, there has been an arrest, and don't do that. What is that doing? Anyway, from the Post Millennial, we'll take a look at this story. Breaking: man arrested for targeted attack at Las Vegas Tesla Center. Police. This is the guy right here. That guy looks nice, don't you think? Anyway, this is the guy that's been arrested. A man has been arrested for a targeted attack at a Tesla collision center, according to 8 News Now. The Las Vegas attack follows a string of attacks against Tesla, as the company's founder has been working with the Trump administration. And that's the only reason why this is happening. They think Elon's a Nazi because he's working with President Trump. And you got the whole salute thing that wasn't a salute, but people are blowing that out of proportion too. And let's not forget that a lot of Democrats have done the same thing, but nobody's calling them out on that, except for right wing people on X. Anyway, the outlet reported that police said that Paul Kim, 36, was arrested on Wednesday, and he was charged with arson as well as possessing an explosive device. Police said that Molotov cocktails were used in order to set fire to several Teslas at the center in Las Vegas. The attack happened on March 18th in the early morning. During a news conference last week, Las Vegas Metro Police Department Assistant Sheriff Dory Corin said he used what appeared to be multiple Molotov cocktails and firearms to conduct his attack. Yeah, this guy, he set this place ablaze and then decided to shoot bullets with it, into the dealership as well. Guys, because he's nuts. That's all there is to it. In addition to the cars being lit on fire, the word resist was spray painted on Tesla Center's doors. Police also believe that Kim shot guns into the Tesla vehicles during the attack. Police told reporters that they received reports at around 2:45 a.m. that someone was setting cars on fire at the Tesla Collision Center near Jones Boulevard and Badura Avenue. Badura. Over the last few weeks, there have been a number of other attacks on Tesla cars, dealerships, as well as charging stations, amid backlash against Elon Musk's work with the Department of Government Efficiency for the Trump administration. Now, my opinion on this, and everybody knows this, that if you watch me enough, people who personally know me, I think that the book should be thrown at these people. Look, accountability. I've said it 100,000 times at this point. Until you hold these people accountable, they're not going to stop. Set an example with this guy, throw the book at him, and let everybody else know that this kind of crap is not going to be tolerated. We cannot be a lawless society letting people run amok just because of their political beliefs. That's it. Done. Throw the guy in prison for 20 years. I don't care at this point. Who knows what could have happened? What if somebody was there working late? A janitor? Whoever. What if he killed somebody? This stuff has to stop because it's just going to keep escalating. You've got people that are personally vandalizing people's personal vehicles. Democrats who bought these vehicles back before Trump decided to bring on Elon Musk into his admin and everything else. People who bought these vehicles because the left was pushing the agenda of EVs. It was a good thing. We needed to save the earth, save the environment, climate change. This was what they were pushing. People went out and bought these Teslas because they're an electric vehicle and they thought that it was what the Democrats wanted. They were pushing it. But now you've got Democrats who bought these vehicles. You got people they bought these vehicles. Teslas are not cheap. Okay. You got somebody who bought this vehicle. They're upside down on a loan for the car and they can't get rid of them because, people won't buy them because of everything that's going on. Dealerships, you get a trade in, you're still going to be upside down on that payment. What are you supposed to do? You sell the car for less than what it's worth because they're not going because of everything that happens. Everything going on, you can't sell that car. You can, but it's going to be a lot cheaper than what you bought it for. Then you're still upside down $10,000, $15,000 on this vehicle. People have bought these things because it's what the Democrats were pushing. Now they're being attacked for owning the vehicle. This is the Democrats attacking Democrats. Now, I'm sure not all Tesla owners are going to be Democrats. I understand that. But the majority of these people who own Teslas, especially in places like California, Oregon, Washington, they're Democrat strongholds. Do you think these people aren't Democrats? There's people putting stickers on their Teslas saying, I bought this before Elon went crazy. Because they can't afford to have their car vandalized. They can't afford to have their insurance get jacked up over everything that's been happening. People cannot afford to do it. But they're just attacking their own base over this, and they're just stupid enough to go along with the mainstream media. And it's the rhetoric that the left pushes. He's Hitler. He's a danger to democracy. He's Hitler. Blah, blah, blah. You think the rhetoric doesn't have consequences? It does. This is a prime example of it. Anyway, in addition to the violent attacks, there have also been protests at Republican town hall meetings, at times organized by left-wing activist groups that have been critical of the cuts in spending that Doge has been carrying out in coordination with Trump administration officials. Now, I don't know what this. This is it's getting ridiculous. This has to stop. And as I said, we'll take a look at this. This is Pam Bondi talking about the situation. And this was from Nick Sorter. And let's see. Las Vegas police reveal the man arrested for firebombing Tesla showroom has ties to multiple communist organizations and pro-Palestine movement. Surprise, surprise. The guy is an activist. He's pro-Palestine. So it doesn't shock me. Does not surprise me at all. Anyway, Paul Kim has been charged with 3 counts of arson, 3rd degree, 3 counts of unlawful possession of explosives, 4 counts of destroying property, 5 counts of discharging a firearm into a structure. This, again, it's got to stop. But anyway, we'll take a look at this clip. This is the sheriff talking about this, and we'll see what he says.
Indicates some very loose but self-proclaimed ties to the Communist Party USA social media group, as well as social media groups called Revolutionary Communist International, Hidden Palestine, Palestine Action, and a variety of other social media groups. That is part of our investigation, is to dig further into it and to be able to determine additional motive and other potential concerns. At this point in time, the suspects was placed immediately on 24/7 surveillance by our specialized units to ensure public safety and preserve evidence.
Good. I'm glad they found the guy. I'm glad they arrested him. I'm glad there was no incident surrounding their arrest. I'm glad. Now throw the book at the guy. He needs to go away for a long time. I'm all for making an example out of this guy. Actions have consequences. Who knows what could have happened? Like, as I said before, what if there was a janitor and they're working late? You don't know. What if one of the bullets strayed off and hit somebody? You just don't know. This crap has to stop. People are going to start getting seriously hurt over this crap. Anyway, Pam Bondi, she weighed in on this, and I'm all for this as well. Like I said, I want the book thrown at this guy. Let people know that this crap is not going to be tolerated. This is from Nick's order as well. Pam Bondi says the DOJ will not enter into plea negotiations with the Las Vegas Tesla firebomber. We are seeking 20 years in prison. They are setting off bombs, huge massive fires in residential neighborhoods. They better cut it out because we are coming after you. In my direction, there will be no negotiating on these people. Good. Good. Throw the book at I want them to face the maximum judgment for this crap. This, again, show everybody that this crap is not going to be tolerated. Now, as I've said before, I haven't been a big fan of what Pam Bondi has done thus far. I think she spent too much time on Fox News talking about what she's going to do, and I haven't seen enough actual action from her, especially with the whole Epstein crap. When she came out on Fox News and said the stuff the stuff in there that will disgust us and blah, blah, blah. And then it was a big nothing burger. And then we had the photo op with the influencers. As I said, I haven't been a big fan of her, of what she's done lately, because it's all, this is what we're going to do. And we haven't seen any action. That's the problem I have with her. She spends too much time on Fox News and not enough time doing her job. Do your job, Pam Bondi. That's it. Just do your job. Stop going on Fox News every time you have the opportunity. I'm tired of that. But anyway, this is what she said about it, and I'm all for it.
With this Las Vegas Tesla criminal, who he was arrested, and now federal charges have been filed against him. This was something that was needed, given everything we're seeing happening to those dealerships and those cars across the country.
That was remarkable police work, working with the state police, our FBI. They have been going nonstop on this case. This guy is in custody. Laura, he is facing 5-year minimum mandatory to 20 years in prison. And this was great police work. This guy thought he got away with it. So these people better look out. They better cut it out, because we are coming after you. And at my direction, there will be no negotiating on these people.
No plea
We are
deals.
seeking 20 years in prison. They are setting off
Good.
bombs, the huge fires. Look what you're seeing. Huge, massive fires in residential neighborhoods.
Someone's gonna
at
get killed.
charging stations.
That's exactly what I said. Somebody's going to get hurt or worse. They could kill somebody. Could be an accident. Most likely will be. But if this crap keeps going, they're going to seriously hurt somebody. Then what? It's got to stop. Throw the book at this guy. Give him the mandatory 20 years. Let him go up on terrorism charges. Give him 20 years. Done. Be done with it.
Someone is going to get killed. A citizen is going to get killed. And these people, we are not doing any plea negotiations on them.
Well,
so they better cut it out.
We have some information about the groups that he belonged to, this
Yes.
individual. Let's watch.
It'd be interesting.
But a preliminary assessment of the suspect's social media activity indicates some very loose but self-proclaimed ties to the Communist Party USA social media group, as well as social media groups called Revolutionary Communist International, Hidden Palestine, Palestine Action, and a variety of other social media groups.
I mean, this is like a cliche of every left-wing communist,
Right.
socialist, Hamas.
Right. We are looking at, in all of these cases, every aspect, we are not going to leave a stone unturned.
So the
Good. I hope you don't. This is ridiculous. Like I said, it's got to stop. We cannot have these people running amok, making things hard for the American people. I mean, like I said it before. A lot of these Tesla owners, they're Democrats, putting bumper stickers on their cars saying, "Don't attack me, please." A lot of this is their only vehicle in a lot of cases. And it's ridiculous. Now, there have been a lot of arrests as far as because here's the thing. I don't understand this, but maybe they're just too stupid to realize that these Teslas, they have a sentry mode. That's what it's called. It's called sentry mode. If anybody comes up to that car, those cameras, they flip on. They're recorded. Everything is recorded. These cars have like 100 cameras surrounding these things. There's a lot of cars that, it's not just Teslas. Most cars have cameras all around them. Do people not realize that they're being recorded? It's got to be the case. They've got to think that they're not being recorded, because there's no mask. There's nothing hiding their face, concealing themselves. They're just straight walking up to these cars, keying them, spray painting them. I saw a guy riding his, looks like a homemade four-wheeler, just running into the side of a Tesla. It's all on camera. That guy got arrested too. Good. I'm all for it. Look, if you want to put terrorist charges on these people, because this is what it is. People are afraid to drive their cars. They're afraid there's people parking them inside their garages. There's people covering them up, all kinds of stuff, because they're afraid of their car getting tore up just because they drove a Tesla, which the Democrats pushed. It's ridiculous. It's got to stop. Anyway, speaking of ridiculous, we'll talk about Canada for a second here. This is the new Prime Minister, Carney. Yeah, that's his name. He came out, said that the relationship between the U.S. and Canada is over. Okay. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I'll tell you right off the bat. I don't care what Canada does. They're a silly place, and they live off of American tax dollars. Try to prove me wrong. I don't care. You can try. These people are subsidized from the American people. They would not exist if it was not for the United States, and they're a silly place. Changed my mind. You can't. Anyway, we'll take a look at this. Nah, you can tell me what you think. Comment below. Tell me what you think. I think Canada's a silly place. I think that their new prime minister is a joke, and that's what I think. But you can let me know. Take a look at this.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations. is over. What exactly the United States does next is unclear.
Okay.
But what is clear is that we, as Canadians, have agency. We have power.
Do you?
We are masters in our own home. Nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We can control our destiny. We can give ourselves much more than any foreign government, including the United States, can ever take away.
I disagree. Wholeheartedly disagree. As I said already, Canada relies on the United States. They rely on our tax dollars, and they don't have a giant military. Why? Because they've got the United States who backs them up. They don't have to pay for a huge military because we back them up. That's it. They will not survive without us. If he wants to cut ties, that's fine. Let's see how long they last. They might get some money from the UK, other UN nations. That's fine. I don't believe it's going to subsidize them enough to maintain themselves without help from the US. That's what me thinks, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll be just fine. I don't see it. But good luck to them. Let's see what else he says.
We can deal with this crisis best by building our strength right here at home. It will take hard work. It will take steady and focused determination from governments, from businesses, from labor, from Canadians.
It's going to take hard work. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of hard work. You're going to have to get a lot of subsidies from these other countries, a lot. Because the US pays Canada a lot of money.
We will need to dramatically reduce our reliance on the United States.
Yep.
We will need to pivot our trade relationships elsewhere. And
Good
we
luck.
will need to do things previously thought impossible at speeds we haven't seen in generations.
Good luck. He's gonna what does he think he's gonna do? He's gonna completely annex the US. He's gonna completely cut off that money coming in from the US. Good luck to you. That's all I got to say. If you want to cut ties with the US, hey, you're saving me tax dollars. That's fine. You don't want the subsidies that the US gives you? Good luck, guy. That's all. That's what I got to say about that. You want to try and get all these other countries to help you, live the life that your citizens are accustomed to? Why do you think Canada has free health care? Because they don't have to put in the money that the U.S. does to its military. Let me look at this. I'm gonna look this up real quick here. Let's see. U.S. Nope, wrong one. Military versus Canada. Let's see. Globalfirepower.com. We'll take a look at this. Excuse me. Let's see. Manpower. Let's see. Manpower, total population of United States military, 341,963,408. Total. Oh, no, this is total population. Never mind. I was like, wow, that's a big number. That's just the population. All right. So the total population of the U.S. is 341 million to Canada's 38 million. Big difference. Available manpower. So I'm guessing this would be the military. 150,463,900 compared to Canada's 16 million. Fit for service. Okay, I guess that's available people. Where's the actual active personnel? Here we go. 1,328,000 in the U.S. military compared to Canada's 68,000. That's an even number, too. Anyway, reserve personnel in the U.S., 799,500 compared to Canada's 27,000. Paramilitary forces. I don't know what that means. Anyway, defense budget. This is the big one, okay? This is the one I was talking about. The defense budget for the U.S. is $895 billion. 41 billion for Canada. Why is that such a big difference? Because the U.S. backs Canada. That's why they don't have to spend the kind of money that the U.S. does on its military. Without the U.S. military, Canada wouldn't look. If you want to annex the U.S. and not partake in being a good neighbor, fine. How long is it going to be before somebody invades Canada? I bet not too long. They've got all kinds of resources in Canada. I'll give Canada credit where credit is due. They've got all kinds of resources up there. You know that most of the Canadian population is close to the U.S. border? They've got all that land up there, and hardly anybody lives outside of, close to the border. It's staggering. I looked at it the other day. It's insane. Anyway. Oh, let's see. What else is on here? Just total aircraft. We'll take a look at total aircraft. The United States is ranked number 1 in the world with total aircraft totaling at 13,043. That's a lot of aircraft. Versus Canada's aircraft at 351. That's a huge difference. Fighter aircraft. The United States has 1,790 and Canada has 66. It's insane. Transports. 918 for the US, 28 for Canada. Look, I'm telling you, this is crazy. Anyway, let's see what else we got on here. Just to take a look. Helicopters. The US has 5,843. Canada has 145. That's a over a 5,000 difference. I mean, 5,000 plus difference on helicopters. Attack helicopters. Oh, look at this. Attack helicopters. Look, this is from globalfirepower.com. You can take a look at it. Attack helicopters, we have 1,002. Take a guess. Just take a guess. I'll wait for just a quick second here. Take a guess. How many attack helicopters Canada has? 0. None. They have none. Tanks. The U.S. has 4,640. Canada, 74. This is insane. Let's see what else we got here. Naval power. Fleet strength for the U.S. is 440 ships. 73 for Canada. Aircraft carriers. This is a huge one. The U.S. has 11 aircraft carriers. I think we should have a couple more. That's just my opinion. I'm former military. I think we should have a couple more, maybe 2 or 3 more aircraft carriers. Just my opinion. But I think we should have a couple more. Anyway. How many aircraft carriers do you think Canada has? 0. None. Kilo carriers. We have 9. They have none. Submarines. We have 70. They have 4. Destroyers. We have 81. They've got 0. Frigates. We did away with frigates. I think we actually gave Canada our frigates because we don't have them anymore. We use supply ships. They're not called frigates anymore. So we don't have any of those, but they have 12, and that's only because we gave them to them. Anyway, let's see. I think that's enough of that. I think you get the point. So I think I made my point as far as that goes. As I said before, look, if Canada wants to go out on their own and wants to cut themselves off from the U.S., that's fine. They won't last long. I give it, I'll say 3 months, tops, maybe 4, before they come crawling back and say, hey, we need your help. Because they cannot survive on their own. This is the way it's always been. I don't know why. Canada's a silly place. They wouldn't be anything without the U.S. That's it. You can hate on me, but Canada, it sucks. They don't put the money into their military because they don't have to. And look, I don't blame them for it. Look, if you can save the money, give your people free health care, which it still sucks. There was a story just the other day that I saw of a woman who needed a CAT scan who has to wait over a year. Or was it MRI? It was an MRI that she needed to see if she had brain cancer, a tumor in her brain. She had to wait over a year just to get the MRI. That's your free health care. It sucks. We're here in the US. Yeah, you got to pay for health insurance and everything else. It's not free. But you can have an MRI done the next day. You got your pros and your cons. You want to wait a year to get that MRI and possibly, die from cancer because you got a tumor in your brain and you can't get an MRI for another year, over a year. It's crazy. It's stupid. That's free healthcare though. That's just the way it goes. Canada's a silly place, and if they want to cut themselves off from the U.S., that's fine. Like I said, I give them 3 months, maybe 4, before they come crawling back because they're gonna need our help. Anyway, we'll silly places. We'll keep the silly places in mind here as I move on to the next one here. This is from the UK. Now, this is, believe it or not, now the UK has done away with personal ownership of firearms. You can still get them, rifles. I don't think I could be wrong, but I believe that you cannot own a personal pistol whatsoever in the UK. I could be wrong. Again, I don't think I am. But I know that even just to get a hunting rifle, you have to jump through all kinds of hoops just to own a firearm in the UK. And why? Because in I think it was mid to late 90s, they banned personal firearm ownage in the UK because of shootings, which is, that's their prerogative. If they want to do that, that's fine. They don't have the Second Amendment like we do. So they banned them. Now they're having an outbreak, and I said this back in the day, in the 90s when I was in high school still, that look, if you ban guns in the UK, what do you think? It's not the gun that kills people. People who actually kill people, they're going to find other ways of doing it. This is just proving right in the UK. They're having, look, knife crime is at an epidemic levels and is ruining lives across Britain. You don't have any guns. You did away with the gun crime. Maybe. There's still shootings in the UK. People who get illegal firearms are still going to get illegal firearms. But they're having an outbreak of knife attacks. And now, confirmed, ninja swords will be banned by this summer. When we promise action, we take it. Look, if you're having an epidemic of knife violence, knife crime, however you want to say it, your country's got other problems. Okay, so you banned guns. Your gun crime has dropped dramatically. Okay. It's not the gun that kills people. It's people that kill people. And I said it way back then. If you outlaw guns, they're just going to move to the next thing that they've got. Crime is going to happen. Unfortunately, in this world, it does happen. There's evil people out there, and crime will happen. And now you've got an epidemic in the UK of knife crime. So what do? They can't ban kitchen utensils. So what do? We're going to ban ninja swords. What? The guys, look, they said there's knife crime is at epidemic levels. They didn't say ninja sword crimes. What kind of, this is just the silly place. It's a silly place. Look, I will say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. An armed society is a polite society. Why do you think that the majority of gun crimes happen in gun-free zones? Because people who commit these crimes know when they go into that gun-free zone, they're not going to be met with other guns. So they can inflict as much pain and harm on other people as possible before somebody actually with a gun actually shows up. You got these gun-free zones now. And people, like as I said, people they just go into this gun-free zone and then they go crazy because they know that there's nobody there with a gun. Why do you think you never hear of a story of people committing gun crimes, doing mass shootings, what have you? They don't happen in areas outside of gun-free zones. Sure, yeah, okay, they do. But in the majority of cases, it happens in gun-free zones because they know there's no opposition to them. They can inflict as much damage as possible before somebody gets there with a gun to resist them. Gun-free zones, I think, are a silly thing. They shouldn't be a thing because when you put up that big old plaque and it says gun-free zone, you're just incentivizing evil people to commit crimes there because you're advertising the fact that you don't have any resistance there to oppose people to come in there and commit these acts of evil. Argue with me on that. You can't. Anyway, gun-free zones are silly. Canada's silly. The UK is silly. I think they're stupid. Shouldn't be a thing. Anyway, that's all I got for now. If you like what you saw and you hang out through all my ramblings here, I really appreciate it. I do. You can follow me here on Rumble. You can go to YouTube and subscribe to me there, but Rumble's where it's at. Rumble's taking over. Go to Rumble. If you're watching on YouTube, why? Go to Rumble. Follow me there. Political Ray. You can also follow me on X at The Political Ray. Again, I appreciate everybody hanging out, and I really do appreciate it. But anyway, have a great day. Take care of yourselves, and God bless.